All right, here we are. It's Wednesday now. Yesterday, a lovely day. Some interesting synchronicities. Um, into speaking of synchronicities, I was listening to um, Bernardo Katzep. I forget who was interviewing him, but he was talking about, um, well, the underlying structures of reality. He's a mathematician and also a non-dualist, but also he was talking about the underlying structures, mental structures of reality, and how our mental structures interact with those to create meaning. And I was left with this sense of pattern awareness. There's synchronicities and symmetries that are present, that arise in our awareness if we're open to seeing them. And then got in the car and I was dropping off my kids somewhere, and was then listening to a Rupert Spira interview, and he read this excerpt from a poem by Percy Bysshe Shelly, who was an English romantic poet in the early 1800s. He died really young, like 29. But at any rate, he wrote this poem, Adonais, which I think was an elegy for Keats. At any rate, the last stanza, 52, he read an excerpt from that, which was extraordinary to me because because I've been really sort of in my attempts to understand the relationship of the ego to reality and to being. I've been working with this kaleidoscope metaphor, and just right in line with Bernardo Katzep's talk about synchronicities, Rupert comes out with this, and this last stanza, the excerpt he read goes like this: "The one remains, the many change and pass. Heaven's light forever shines, earth's shadows fly. Life, like a dome of many-colored glass, stains the white radiance of eternity until death tramples it to fragments. Die if thou wouldst be with that which thou dost seek." And it goes on. And there's a lot that I resonate with. That resonates with me. I said, I don't know, whatever. That dome of many-colored glass, like that kaleidoscope that distorts or veils our view. And he talks about dying if thou wouldst be with that which thou dost seek, which for me it is the awakening. It is, like the Sufis talk about dying before you die. It's the death of one's belief in oneself as a separate being. And then in doing so, you become one with the one. You are with that, with what you seek. The one within that seeks is that which we are seeking. And that also reminds me of, I think it's maybe a Bedouin proverb. Each of us has many within that come and go, and one that watches. Let the many pass and be the one. So in being, just getting back to ego, again with Rupert, listening to him talk about thoughts and the veiling of thoughts and the unveiling of thoughts. A distinction coming clear to me as I listen to my thoughts, and try to understand where they come from and what they're about. What is this ego? So thoughts and ego, they get a bad rap. Thoughts get a bad rap in sort of spiritual circles, right? We think, oh, that's just conceptual or whatever. That's just my thoughts. It's not real. But I'm gonna take a different view. So thoughts are not going to stop. I mean, you can have an interruption of thinking, that's temporary. You can stop your thoughts, but thoughts are a part of being in this world. Rupert says thoughts come from being, and it's not so much that thoughts are good or bad or useful or not useful or whatever, but what happens is our beliefs in ourselves as as separate beings, our attachments to our ego, those colored glass fragments color the thoughts, right? I talked about this in my last recording, I think. So the ego colors the thoughts, the glass colors those thoughts, and leaves us with something other than what the thoughts of being are. So it's not a matter of stopping thinking, it's a matter of letting go of my attachment to my sense of a separate self. And I don't have, and once I do that when I sit in being, just being, where I am is unveiling of those thoughts. So I don't have to do anything to stop the thoughts. I don't have to do something to try and figure out the thoughts or work with the thoughts or whatever. Letting go of my attachment to ego, my attachment to myself as a separate being, my attachments to my wants and desires, naturally unveils them. So it's not trying to change the way I think. It's changing the way that I be. It's letting go. And then the thoughts don't change. I change. I become a clearer channel. The ego, Rupert talks about ego dying of negligence. That's dramatic and maybe hyperbolic, I think. It's more just that as I cease relating to myself as this separate thing, I think I don't have any need to believe in it. But the thoughts are still there. The needs are still there. That friction stuff, like I still need to brush my teeth. I still need to, take a shower. I still need to find food and take care of my kids and take care of my house and my car. I mean, all the human stuff, all the modern world stuff. I mean, I guess I don't have to do those things. I could go become a renunciate, an aesthetic, a renunciate and an aesthetic, whatever. Yeah, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm living this life now here. And so thoughts and wants and needs and all the space-time incarnation stuff. Okay, anyway, those are thoughts to a future me, thoughts just like breadcrumbs. And anybody else who's watching this, if you have any, if there is somebody watching this and you want to talk about this, or you just want to comment, feel free. I hope to be reading comments as they come, if they come. But it's not what I'm doing this for. I'm doing this really just as a placeholder for my own thoughts. And I'm doing it this way because somebody else may find benefit. So if you find benefit, cool. Let me know. Cheers.